like to use a whisk whenever I mix my ingredients. I already put the powdered mix in and the milk. Now I'm going to put my 2 eggs in. I like to go ahead and just mix it up with the whisk to ensure that there aren't any lumps and just ensure that everything gets put together smoothly. You really want to get a glue-like consistency in your batter. So you're just going to mix it for about, typically it takes me about 30 seconds to just mix it on up. Okay. And so now I'm going to go ahead and move over to preparing the skillet. If y'all want to step forward. Okay, so typically I like to use the 1/3 cup measuring spoon. I have some batter here that I already prepared earlier just in case the other didn't turn out so great. I like to use the 1/3 cup measuring spoon. Just kind of get a good scoop in there. But before that, we're going to go ahead and take a 1/2 tablespoon of butter and just kind of spread it around the skillet. Just to ensure that it doesn't stick, make sure you can get a good scoop on your spatula. You're going to want to go ahead and turn your skillet up to about medium heat, just so that you can go ahead and burn off that butter real quick. Just make sure you get it real spread around and everything like that. Okay, so we've gotten that together. So I'm going to take my 1/3 cup scoop, and I usually like to put about 2 pancakes on there at a time, diagonally across from each other. I like to fill the scoop up about almost all the way. So you're going to go ahead and pour one right here, and then you're going to pour another right here. You want to make sure that they don't stick together, that everything just kind of, they kind of stay separated, and they should be about this size, as you can see right here. So while you're cooking them, you're going to want to watch for them to dry up around the edges. You're going to want to let them bubble in the middle, and you're also going to see some steam rise. This usually takes about 2 minutes. So as you're doing this, you can also heat up your maple syrup that you want to pour on top later. Usually takes about 10 seconds in the microwave. Not too bad. Tastes very good on there. Some people also like to just go ahead and put strawberries, blueberries, and my personal favorite, whipped cream on top. So as I'm watching these pancakes cook, I want to go ahead and just start poking them a little bit around the edges with the spatula. I usually like to make sure that when I go to flip them, that all the way around the edge is already dried up. We want to make sure that we get a good, clean flip. If you want to see an example of these pancakes, of the good and the bad, here's a good example, the golden brown you see here, and here's a bad example with the pasty white. You don't want the pasty white, you want the fluffy golden. Okay, so we're just going to wait about another 5 or 10 seconds. These should be getting almost there. Just go ahead. You don't want the batter to stick to the spatula. So if the batter's sticking to the spatula, it's not quite ready to be flipped yet. You also want to remember that the pancakes are always going to be different sizes when you pour them, so you need to take that into account with each one that you pour. And you also have to remember that as the skillet stays heated, it's going to be hotter with each batch. So it usually is going to take less time to cook. Okay. As you can see, I'm just kind of poking it right now. So you're going to want to get a good, clean, fell swoop, and go ahead and flip it over. Then this one as well. Alrighty. Now as you can see, that one didn't turn out so hot. So we're probably going to discard that one at the end and just eat the good ones. So usually it takes about 1.5 minutes on the other side as well. You want to just watch and make sure, as you can see around the edges, everything is just kind of drying up. And you just want to make sure that there's no batter remaining on the skillet. You don't want any pasty batter, you don't want any of that yuckiness in your pancakes. So as you can see, you're just going to poke it with the spatula once again. And as you're doing this, it makes it easier on the second side because you can check it as you go. So you can just kind of lift it as you go, just kind of see how it's doing. So as you can see right there, it's getting very golden brown. It's going to take probably about another 15 seconds. We're just going to let it continue to cook. You can kind of pat it down as you go to just kind of ensure that no lumps are in the middle and none of that nastiness. There we go. I'm getting excited already. Okay. So as we can see, that one's pretty golden brown on the bottom. You can see it cooked all the way through. So we're going to go ahead and put that on our plate over here. Now this one we're just going to let cook a little bit more on the bottom. Try to save it a little bit. Still needs a little bit longer. After you've taken one off, you can move the other to the middle of the skillet just to ensure that it cooks kind of thoroughly through, because the middle of the skillet is usually the best place for it to cook the most evenly in the heat. Typically a batch of pancake batter will make you about 15 pancakes, kind of depends on the size. If you like them smaller, if you like them bigger, it all depends. Like I said, I like to use the 3rd cup measuring just to kind of like get a good scoop in there, get a good size. Let's see how this one's doing on the bottom. Okay. So that one, it looks pretty golden brown on the bottom. I'm going to turn it over a little bit just to let the front side cook. Alright, so as this one's finishing up, I just want to remind you that the next time you're hungry in the middle of the night at 2 in the morning, you need a cheap fix for your stomach, just go ahead, cook your pancakes. It only takes about 5 minutes tops, and it's a delicious meal. Thanks for watching.